the last time we left off, it was my first day in prison. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything about it. But I learned very fucking quickly. It transpired into something I couldn't even imagine. And before I knew it, I was part of an organization that basically ran the prisons. So I was coming fresh off my surgery. I was still on a bunch of drugs, bunch of pain medications, Dilaudid and such. So everything was foggy. Everything was a hazy memory. But once I started to get to, once I had my surgery, once all that shit got done and over with, I started to think and see clearly. I kind of understood the magnitude of my actions. So when you go to court the first time, they tell you what charges you have. They tell you an arraignment. You put everything in front of you. They lay it all on the table like a fucking big-ass feast. And the first time that I went to court, I was lost. I didn't know what to think. There was people there that I didn't know that had picket signs that were making it out to be a fucking festivity for the crowds, for the masses. There was TV cameras there. There was state news. I didn't realize the impact of what had happened, but it started to creep very, very slowly into my mind. After seeing all that, after being rolled into that courtroom in a wheelchair, I couldn't keep my head up. I kept my head down like a coward. I didn't know what to know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't understand who these people were. I never seen these people in my life. I didn't know why they were making me out to be an evil person, a murderer. In my mind at the time, it was a mistake. It was something not premeditative. I never meant to do anything. I didn't realize that prison was going to be an option. So the initial court date, it was full of ruckus. It was full of chaos. It was just full of emotions that they got to the point where I didn't even know what to feel. I felt sad. I felt angry. I felt lost. I felt betrayed. Betrayed by who? By myself. You know, I didn't realize that I was capable of such a disruption in society because everything was just fucking shambling around me. And it didn't make sense for a feeble-minded kid. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to soak in all at once. So I still remember it was almost like a third-person experience. It was like an out-of-body thing. They're rolling me through this courtroom. I'm shackled up like a fucking mummy, right? You got to realize I got a cast on my leg. I got a cast on my arm. I had a broken arm, a broken leg. Just maybe like 2 weeks out of surgery, maybe 3. They got me handcuffed on my arm to the wheelchair, and they got a fucking electrical voltage thingamajig on my fucking good leg. So if I would have tried to run, which I would have hobbled on one leg, they would have electrocuted the fuck out of me. So I'm rolling through this court, right? And like I said, you got people to the left picketing. There's this one group in Illinois. It's called Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, and they go to all these court cases. It's a very politically organized group, and they make sure to throw all DUI violators under the bus. You know, which hey, it is what it is, right? It's scoring people that have an agenda. It's unfortunate, but I did what I did, so I had to deal with the consequences. You know, there is no victimizing it. I'm not the victim here. My friends were the victims. So I'm being rolled through here. There's people yelling. The judge is over here telling them to quiet the fuck down. They stop me in front of the judge. She asks me, so son, this is what you're facing. You're facing an aggravated DUI with possibility of 28 years. I just stop. I'm literally, I haven't shit in like about fucking 3 weeks because of all these pain meds. And I feel like I'm going to shit myself right there and then. So it's all coming, it's all grasping, it's all becoming a reality. I don't say anything, right? I'm shivering, I'm fucking scared. The judge says, so how do you plea? And my lawyer had told me, so I got a lawyer for my sister, right? My lawyer told me, plea not guilty. We're going to try to play your case out until you can get the least amount of time possible. So I told him, sir, not guilty. stuttering like a fucking, I don't even know. Just stuttering crazy style. So I tell them, sir, not guilty. And that was it. They rolled me up out of there. I'm waiting in a bullpen for hours on end. The lawyer comes in. So, Simon, here's what it is. You're facing X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Fucking, we'll see you in a month or two. Next court case is on set date. I think the next court case was maybe like a month away or some shit. And I'm like, wait, what, a month? I got to stay in jail for a month? And, I'm not contemplating this. My bond was in the millions of dollars. So when you get a bond like that, you got to pay 10% to get out, to fight your case in the world. My family doesn't come from riches. It's from rags. And there was no way. So I'll sit my happy ass in that jail. Cook County Jail. Notorious, overpopulated, smell like shit, cockroach-riddled place. But you know what? That was my new home. That was the place that, little did I know at that time, was going to be my home for the next year. So I get back on the unit. Get back from the bullpen. Get back from all the chaos. And sure enough, there's a ruckus. So a little backstory here. Before I went to court, I asked one of my cellies to borrow some baby powder the night prior. He said, no problem. Go ahead. Keep in mind, I haven't taken a shower in about 3 weeks because I was unable. I had a cast and I had 2 casts on my body. So when I asked for baby powder, I didn't want to smell like complete dog shit when I went into this courtroom. He had agreed to give me the baby powder, but little did I know this guy was on 2 or 3 different psych medications and he forgot stuff very, very, very quickly. So when I come back on the unit, everybody starts calling me a thief, right? Not to my face, but there was this guy, his name was Preacher Man. And Preacher Man, what he did at every mealtime, Preacher Man would get up, say a nice prayer for everybody, and that was it. Then we sit down to our meal. That was a routine. Any announcements on the deck, Preacher Man will let us know. So this time, Preacher Man gets up like he always did. And he says, I got an announcement. There's a thief on the deck. I'm looking around, shit. I wonder who it is. Fuck. A thief, shit. You better watch out, One of the commandments of prison. Don't steal. If you guys want to catch up on that, I got a video on those. So he gets up. He starts talking about a thief, this and that. And I see the guy that I borrowed the baby powder from. He's just standing there. He's looking at me. He's looking straight at me. And the Preacher Man says, go ahead, stand up, say your piece. And he's looking at him. I'm like, hold on a second. And the shit's clicking, right? So this fucker, he goes into the whole spiel about the baby powder. Somebody stole your baby powder. Somebody stole some of my baby powder. Blah, blah, blah. And I get up out of my wheelchair. I'm hobbling on one fucking leg. I take my shirt off, right? I'm fucking fuming. And I'm like, who the fuck you calling a thief? Because in the back of my mind, the whole prison persona thing, this guy lying on me, I just came from court, they're calling me a murderous asswipe, like I meant to do this shit. My emotions were all over the place. So I get off my wheelchair, I'm hobbling towards him, and I tell him, listen, motherfucker, you call me a thief? There's going to be some fucking issues, right? And then he says to me, you know what, shut the fuck up, murderer. And I just blacked out. I took a piece of my wheelchair off. There was a removable side. And I started hobbling towards his asshole. And in my mind, I wanted to kill him. I'll show you a murderer. Everybody makes me out to be a fucker, a piece of shit. Everybody makes me out to be a piece of shit. I'll be a piece of shit. So I'm about 2 feet from this guy. I got a wheelchair part in place. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm lost. And a cop chokes me, puts me back on my wheelchair, tells me to chill the fuck out. And I just stop. I just stop abruptly. The emotions of anger and anxiety and just rage just stop. And it goes back to sadness and sorrow. Because I remembered why I was there. So he rolls me into a segregation cell, which is on the unit. And I sat in there for about 2 weeks. Just me, myself, and my thoughts. When I was in that room, the come down from all the pain medications, it was all too fucking real. Because at this point, There was nobody talking to me. There was nobody to talk to. It was just me and myself and my thoughts. And at that time, my thoughts were fucked up. I didn't know what to think. I was contemplating suicide. I was contemplating everything under the sun. I didn't know how to deal with the situation. I didn't know what was going to happen. The last thing I remember is everybody telling me I'm going to get 28 years. So I was just lost. I was lost. 2 weeks passed by. The cop comes in. He's like, all right, brother, you're going to come out. You're going to come out. And guess what? There's only one medical deck. So you're going back to the medical GP, the general population. So I go back out there. Sure enough, old boy's out there and shit. And he's like, hey, man, we good, bro, we good. I'm like, man, get the fuck away from me, bro. He already forgot what the whole thing was about. He's already acting like we're cool and shit because he's seen the fucking rage in my eyes. So I walked off. A couple guys approached me. One of the guys, ironically enough, was in there for the same exact thing as me. He was a well-known gangbanger in there. There's 2 factions in there that run the joints, and he was part of one of those factions. So he comes up to me. He's like, you know what, brother? I like the way you handled yourself. I'm thinking to myself, like, wait, what? That fit of rage I had? But that's kind of shit that impresses people in the joint. When you stick up for your own. When you look like a fucking maniac. When you're a goon. So he comes up to me and say, yo, brother, you know, hey, we could use somebody like you on an aid and assist basis. So what aid and assist is, I never joined a gang. Okay, aid and assist is when you literally aid and assist a specific gang in a jail. And how Cook County works, unless you are affiliated with a gang, you're going to be in the back of the line for the food. You're going to be in the back of the line for the fucking phones, for the showers. And you're going to be sleeping on the floor. So I told him, tell me more. He told me all about it, how it worked, how the jail worked, exactly the nuances of being an aid and assist opposed to being a neutron, which a neutron is basically somebody that is not in a gang, period. So I tell him, hey, fuck you, I ain't got shit to lose. What's up, homie? Ain't no problem. So we talk more. We compare our lives. You know, it was more of like a friend. That was my friend in there. And we're talking about how our cases happened. Because he was in there for, like I said, the same shit as I was in there. A DUI that ended up in a death. In my case, too. And sure enough, the next day or the day after, he ended up going to general population. Because at this point, we were in the medical unit. So in the medical unit, you can only be there until you're deemed medically fit to go to the general population area. So he leaves, and at this point, I felt like I lost a friend. But sure enough, a couple days after, they call me for GP as well. They're like, hey, brother, pack your shit up. You're going to General Pop. And I said, all right, sweet. From what I heard from old boy, General Pop is going to be popping. You got actual commissary, which is food. You got the homies. You got a TV. You got fucking all sorts of shit on the unit, right? So I'm like, all right, brother, let's get it over with. Let's go to GP. Fuck yeah. So the synchronicities in life are this, that, guess who I see? The first person I see on the deck, it was a 48-man dorm. I go on the deck, and sure enough, it's my boy from the fucking medical unit. He's like, yo, Simon, holy shit, what's going on, brother? Yo, you riding with us. You're back here. You're back over here, man. We riding back here. So sure enough, I'm in a wheelchair at this point as well. They roll me up. They roll my ass back over to the area. It was about 6 bunks in the very back of the room. And he said, you know what? Here's your fucking bed. The bed was already made. Like, this is where you're sleeping. You're rolling with us now. If anybody asks, you're with us. You know, I felt like I had some friends. I felt like I wasn't alone anymore. I felt like I wasn't just in my head, right? At that point, I was looking for answers and I couldn't find any. So the small comforts that I got, the small comforts that I received, I took them. So the first order of action as a gang affiliate or aid and assist in this case happened just a week after I reached general population. It ended up being over the pettiest shit. It ended up being a fucking lesson. And sure enough, it was over stealing. Somebody had stolen from me. And even though it was something petty as a bag of chips, I was forced to fight. They told me either you fight or you get your ass beat because you represent us. And they cannot have somebody that allows themselves to get stained, to get stolen from as a part of this organization. So I got my ass up and I beat the dog shit out of somebody over a bag of chips. And I thought to myself, holy fuck, what have I become? What is my life? What has happened in my life? So how it happened, every time you go to court, you gotta leave your boxes open. There's no locks, there ain't shit, because it's all weaponry in general population. People fight, people stab, people fucking smoke crack in the bathrooms. People be getting down. So I go to court. This is my second court case. I go to court. It's the old typical bullshit. At this point, I'm just numb to everything. I don't hear nothing. All they do is they try to get me a bond reduction. They tell me absolutely not. You got family in Poland. We're leaving your bond as is. Get your ass back to the jail. Court case in 2 months. This shit dragged on like a fucking snail. I don't know what the hell to expect. So I go back to the unit, and there's always one guy on watch for everybody else's box. The box is what you live out of in the dorm. That is your life. You put your commissary, your clothes, your soaps, every fucking thing you own in that box. That is your baby. So the guy that was on security, or S as we called it, this dude fell asleep. And I come back on the unit, he's like, hey brother, yo, I seen some dude rummaging over here, man. Check your box, dog. I'm like, alright, bet. Fuck you. I look in there and shit. I'm like, man, I got a bag of chips missing, I think. And he says to me, yo, bro, I was in the bathroom, man. I seen a dude eating a bag of chips. It was a bag of shebangs, right? A whole shebangs. This chip is fucking delicious. It has every single flavor just melded into one crisp. This thing is wicked, and it's only exclusively in prison. So I tell him, you know what? I'm missing a whole bag, a bag of shebangs, man. And he says, hey, that dude right there, that motherfucker took your shit. And I'm like, I ain't worried about it, bro. It's a bag of chips, man. It's 99 cents. He's like, no. Come here, man. Let me tell you something, man. This was a different guy. This is a fucking big 6'4", 400-pound man. He's like, you know what? Nah, homie. That's not how this shit works. You ate an assistant now, man. Everything that goes on you backs on us. So if you get fucking stolen from, guess what? People are going to think they can steal from us. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, nah, homie, you got to go box that motherfucker. You got to go fight him. Or you got to get his trays for the next week. I'm like, bro, it ain't that serious. He's like, I ain't going to tell you again. You either do it or we're going to fuck you up. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, let's go do it. Let's go box this motherfucker then. Shit. So sure enough, I go over there, right? My boy that had the same case as me, he's like, you know what? I'll come with you. So he comes up with me and shit. I go up to the old boy. This guy was about in his mid-30s, white dude, older guy, probably a homeless drug addict or something. I go up to him. I'm like, hey, brother, I think you took something that belongs to me. He's like, what the fuck you talking about? He starts getting very lippy and shit. I'm like, hey, hold on, brother. You stole a bag of chips from me, bro. He's like, I ain't steal shit from you, man. Get the fuck away. I'm like, listen, bro, we can do this one of two ways. You're going to give me your trays for the next week, or you're going to pay me back double. He's like, man, fuck you. So I look at my guy, and my guy's already looking like, yeah, you got to fuck this dude up. You ain't got no choice. He's giving me that sign, like, yep, you got to do it. I'm like, damn. So before I know it, I had a cane in my hand. I start bopping this dude over the face. He starts rummaging back. I'm looking at my guy and shit. He's like, yeah, keep going. So my guy jumps in now. So we're both fucking this dude up. It got to the point where this guy was screaming Bloody Mary. He's like, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm fucking sorry, man. It was too late at that point. There's no retribution. If you clown the gang, if you clown the respect, you get clowned yourself. So he goes to the door. We were in a bubble in a dorm. The door was locked. The cops are on the other side of the door. And he starts banging on the door. Me and my boy hobble off, right? You got to keep in mind, I got a cast on my legs. So I'm just hobbling off like a fucking clown on a pogo stick. So the cops open the door. This guy's all bloodied up. They bring him in. They come back on the unit. They say, whoever did this, come out right now or we're shaking down this whole fucking unit. You know, everybody's looking at me and my boy on the unit like, hey, y'all gonna fess up or what? We got some bogus shit over here, man. There's the guys with weed, there's guys with drugs, there's guys with stingers, there's guys with all sorts of shit on that unit. And the guy never told. The guy that got beat up never told because he knew the rules of Cook County. If you snitch, that shit follows you everywhere you go. You can have a way harder time dealing with being a snitch than just basically keeping your fucking mouth shut and taking the beating. So sure enough, hour passes by, the cops come down, shake everybody down, mattresses flipped over, got us fucking shaking our boxers out, take a bunch of shit out, and from that day on, everybody mean mugged me for like the next 2 weeks. They're like, yo, hey homie, you fucked up, keep the peace in here, homie. And that's when I had my first actual, I guess you can call, prison experience, jail experience. Because I realized that my actions had consequences on 48 other people. So unless I simmered the fuck down, I could get beat up or worse in my sleep. Animosities are real. And you really got to watch out in there. Like I said, actions have consequences, and that goes for everything in there. Now, I want to tell you guys this. By no means was I ever in a gang. You cannot be in a gang. You cannot join a gang in the Cook County Department of Corrections. I was aid and assist. An actual gang, a street gang, will not allow you to join the gang as an official gangbanger until you're out in the streets and put your work in. There's certain prison gangs now, but these were not those. If you guys want to know how this story continues, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, toss that follow. I stream every night on twitch.tv/everyonekills. Come by and kick it. And with that said, be good, stay safe, make wise decisions. Nothing but love here. Until next time, peace.